Tier 9 Mauschen, the little brother to the Moss. Um, my thoughts on this is it reminds me a lot of the old version of the old Moss. It's slow rate of fire. Armor is mediocre at best. Easily pen in this lower plate. The cheeks are they can pin your cheeks if you don't, move your turret like on the Moss you had to do. So yeah, I prefer actually the 8, the VK 100.01P, and the Moss the Tier 10. But this Tier 9, not a fan favorite of the Tier 9. But we will do a review of it and go over it. So what do you get? You get 2,300 healthy hit points. It does have decent armor. You get 200 in the hull in the front and 240 on the turret. On the sides, you get 155 in the hull and 160 on the turret. And in the rear, you get 135 in the hull and 150 on the turret. So it does have decent armor. It is good at side scraping, but you really have to protect these cheeks. And the funny thing is, this commander's hatch on the Tier 9 seems to be weaker than the commander's hatch on the Tier 8. I don't know if it's because of the shape or whatnot, but it seems like I get penned through that a lot more than I do in the Tier 8. Now, if somebody's shooting gold out of a Tier 10 into the Tier 8 commander's hatch, it's going to go through it. But that's pretty much all of them. But yeah, it's a kind of a big tumor setting up there. The gun on this is actually very nice. It's slow rate of fire. It just reminds me so much of the old Moss. It's not even funny. 4 rounds a minute, 246 standard pen, 311 for your premium APCR, which is awesome. You get APCR one, and you get 65 for your HE. 490 is your average damage for your standard and your premium, and 630 for your HE. But the only thing you're going to see that on is if you hit like a Scorpion G or a French tank with, like something with absolutely no armor. If you hit E100 or something, T110E5 with that HE round, you're probably going to do 130, 200 damage if you're lucky. Average damage per minute is 1960. Dispersion at 100 meters is 0.38. Aim time is 2.3 seconds. I don't have the best crew in the world in this because, like I said, I don't fancy playing this one too much. I like the 8, and I like the 10. The Moss and the VK 10001P. The crew I have in the VK is actually not a whole lot better, but almost on 100% on the first crew skill, except for I made sure I had 6 cents on that one all set up. This one I don't play as much, so I just left it kind of. I'll just kind of work on it as I go along. Now, that was the standard settings for the gun. My rate of fire is 7.74 rounds a minute, so almost half a round a minute more. My reload is 12.66, so reminds me, like I said, a lot of the old Moss. Turret traverse speed is 16, and hull traverse is 16, so slower than slow, that can be slow. You very easily get circle strafed, so if it's getting down to you and you see a lot of mediums that are fast and scouts that are fast, make sure you got a rock or a building nearby that you can back up against so they can't circle around you. Aim time isn't too bad at 2.16 seconds. The depression is -8, and the elevation is 25. Dispersion is 0.36. That's kind of funny because it just says chocolate and Brother's Arm. I thought the vents helped your dispersion out too, and it's not showing that. Interesting. My average damage per minute is 2323. It's a heavy bugger at 170, well, actually 180 ton. Mine's at 170.73 tons. So smashing anything that your little heart feels like you want to. Engine power is 1,550, but your specific power to weight sucks because it's so heavy. It's 9.08, so she moves slow. It is slow. Top speed is 20 in forward, 15 in reverse. 15 in reverse. Didn't want anybody to think I said 50. Your concealment is a healthy 4.17. because this thing is huge. You're going to be spotted. As soon as that says the battle has begun, you might as well plan on being spotted if there's a light or medium tank anywhere near you. View range is really good at 423, and signal range is 757. So, if you want to hold on for a minute, I will have some games and some post-game stats for you in the Mauschen, the Tier 9 Super Heavy. So hold on, and I'll be right back with you. Hey everybody, this is Tank and Trucker, and we find ourselves in Marivanka in the Mauschen. I'm changing the format a little bit. Yeah, I guess it'll be about big. I moved my ugly mug over here to the left. Somebody recommended that I put my picture over here, or my ugly head over here, and that way I can make the mini map a little bigger, which makes sense. That way you kind of see what tanks are doing what. So, right off the bat, I noticed they had a substantial amount of heavies compared to us. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 heavies, and we had 2, and it was myself and the T-29, and then T-29 was AFK the whole match except for the last like 30 seconds. So I was, sorry about that. I was contemplating going along the basically the 2 line down this way, getting in this area, or setting back here kind of more with the tank destroyers. But I thought, you know, what good is that going to do? I'd be better off going up here, trying to light the enemy for the tank destroyers to hit. And unfortunately, I knew I was going to be I wasn't going to do a lot of damage, because I knew it was going to be basically a sponge for damage and blocking and whatever I could do, so that these TDs could get their shots off. I kind of went to the top of the hill at first, thinking I might be able to light some stuff that's trying to cut across. It's kind of back here in this area. Yeah, right here I was thinking, do I go or do I not go? So I stopped and screw it, I'm going. But when I hit the top of the hill there, I was hoping to light some stuff that was cutting across this area back in here, but my view range isn't good enough. See, right now I'm just getting those houses to where I would have been able to spot them. But yeah, so this, I just had a bad feeling this was going to end badly, and all of a sudden, yep, here's 3 heavy tanks. Now, a couple of our tank destroyers were in a position where they could pop up and get shots off of these guys, so I figured, well, if they're shooting, I can keep them lit and possibly go ahead and get some shots myself. I saw this ATC cutting across here, so I thought, okay. I saw the one on the back, further back there, but I was just hoping I was going to be able to get a second shot off on this guy and finish him off. He does scoot around the house there, but those HTCs have really good frontal armor, but standard penetration on this for the standard round is like 246, so I knew I had enough to go through his front plate anyways. Well, I'd say it was about a 75% chance. And so here I start to angle, and here comes 4 of their heavies, and the tank destroyer setting back there. And the WZ-111 actually has, I believe it hits for more than the STI does. The STI hits for, I think, average is 400, and 111 hits for 440. I couldn't believe the guy caught me on fire there. Trying to figure out. It was our ISU-152 that hit me. Boy, he took a chunk off me there. Oh no, he had the small gun, so I actually got pretty lucky. He only hit me for 367. Yeah, so if he would have had the big gun on there, I'd have lost about 750. So I got pretty lucky. He only had the small gun at 367, but still, I mean, that's, you know, here in a second, I would have been able to get another shot off. I ended up getting killed because losing, you know, almost 400 of my health. So, yep, unfortunately, I was able to get 1,828 damage off, and I was able to, you know, spot some of the enemy, knock some tracks off, and do more damage than I thought I was going to be able to, considering it was me versus 5 heavies. But like I said, with the tank destroyers we had up here, that was just, it was a huge help. Besides the one that shot me in the back, but if anything, he was probably trying to shoot the WZ-111. Um, One thing I like to do is when like that WZ-111 was coming up on my side there, is I'll keep backing up and all of a sudden I'll push forward and then stop going forward and pull back. And sometimes you'll get him to accidentally shoot, because he's getting ready to click, and by that, he clicks and you stop and he shoots behind you or in front of you or whatnot. But yeah, we go and win this match. Actually, I was very surprised with only having two heavy tanks and one of them, the T-29, being AFK. So basically, it was one heavy tank, and that was me. So the Mauschen holds up pretty good. They can get that lower front plate, like on the Moss. It used to be like they call the license plate spot there. It can still be penned pretty easy with standard rounds. So if you can hide that, you're better off. Yeah, here's the T-29. He joins us when there's just a few tanks left, and he gets like one shot off, and then I think the game's over, or two shots, something like that. Like an idiot. I think that is one of the things that annoys me the most is when yeah, he took a shot and didn't even hit, and somebody killed it. But when somebody joins a battle, no, and they got a phone that rings, you can always call back whoever it is that's calling, or if you think if you think you're gonna have a phone call, or you think something's gonna happen, don't join a battle. I mean, that just screws your whole team, big time. I mean, I could have definitely used his help. In the T-29, he did have the big gun on there, and he's got the upgraded turret. So yeah, he could have been up there hauled down and helped hold that position, and probably wouldn't have got butt raped so bad by so many heavy tanks when they came around the corner. Sorry, I keep turning around, but I'm at work, and got everybody's kind of walking back and forth and just trying to see who's when the mechanic's coming in because they're working on me truck, getting a new windshield and what else am I getting? New windshield and oh yeah, I had some crossover pipe blowout, so it sounded like a freaking police car as I drove down the road. I was whistling and whining. But anyways, I got another match for you here in just a minute, so if you want to hold on, I'll be back in just a few. Hey everybody, so this is the results of that match. Obviously, our T-29, the only other heavy in the match, was AFK, so basically I knew I was going to be going against a lot of heavies. Good thing I had a lot of tank destroyers setting behind me to help chew up what heavies came around that corner. Bet I hit the STI, actually knocked his track off, I think. Oh, just spotted him. Bounced around from him, hit him once, knocked out his gunner and his driver, and hit him for 456. Hit the WZ-111 1-4. Bounced one of his rounds for 320, and hit him for 492. Blocked around from the IS-6. Spotted the Object 252U. He got hit for 94 hit points after I spotted him. Spotted both the T-20 HTCs that were platooned up. One of them I hit twice, and one of them knocked out his ammo rack, and his driver hit him twice for 180 hit points and killed him. The other one I spotted and bounced 2 rounds from him. It just had a faster reload. Would have been able to hang in there a little better or a little longer, like if I had the Moss's 9-second reload versus almost a 13-second reload. Definitely would have been able to hang in there a little longer. But for what I had coming at me, and I was the only, heavy over there because our T-29 was AFK, I feel pretty good for what, I was able to do. Got 5th highest damage and 1 kill. Base experience was 703 with 1,228 damage. I had 4 shots, 4 hit, 4 pen, which is actually pretty pitiful, but I mean, to be honest with you, I was happy I even got that off, just for the simple fact with all the heavies they had that came around the corner, there was like, what, 5? I think there was 5 of them, plus there was a couple TDs in the back, plus they had arties, so but I got hit 10 times, 5 pen me and 5 bounce, so I blocked 1,150 damage. Spotted 2, damaged 3, destroyed 1. Damage with my assistance was 364. Made 36,486 credits. And compensation caused by allies was 4,901. I'm not sure. I think it was a scorpion that hit me in the ass. I'll have to kind of pay attention during the replay. I still made 10,653 credits, so not too shabby. Obviously, that little boost of almost 5 grand was kind of nice. I mean, it sucked because I think he took about 500 off me there, but you know, he was trying to help out. It's not like he did that on purpose. You know, I was backing up, kind of rocking back and forth because that 111, I was trying to get him to shoot when I pulled forward and shoot behind me or vice versa. So, you know, could have been kind of my fault for wiggling back and forth, but I wasn't just going to sit there backing up at a, you know, snail's pace without trying to get him to shoot, you know, an accident and not hit me. But, oh, what are you going to do? So, anyways, this was one of the matches I got for you, and I've got another one for you. So if you want to hold on, I'll be back in just a few minutes. Hey everybody, this is Tank and Trucker, and here we are finding ourselves on Ensk, and I was looking at the teams just real quick, and teams were actually pretty comparable. Their T110E3 was a phenomenal player on the enemy team. The only player we had on our team that was worth anything was me. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I wish. Yeah, we had a couple good players. Actually, I think they had a couple better players than us. I'm gonna speed it up to get it up here. It's one thing about the Mauschen, it ain't fast. That's why I love city maps for this thing, because at least you don't have to drive 25 miles to get where you're going. Now, normally right here, I would not in a million years cut across right here where I'm going, because a lot of times what happens is the tank will set, let me see if I can get a better view, kind of right there, and then as you drive across this area, they shoot you right in the side. But I figured we had an ML2 here and a WZ-111 there, and they hadn't been even shot at yet. So, well, actually, WZ-111-4 was put off the angle by the T-49. So I felt it was pretty safe to come over this way. Now, normally what I would do coming around a corner like this is I would side scrape. But we have, as you can see, E100, E75, and a T110E5. And as you can see, none of them are getting shot at. So I'm thinking just the IS-7 there. No big worries. We'll come in here, kind of angle it a little bit, you know, but I didn't want to come around. I didn't come full force angled. So pop around the corner here, get a shot at E100 or IS-7. And I just got hit by the Object 263 once with a gold round, IS-7, standard round, ISU 152 standard round, and a Conway standard round. It was bam, 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 and I'm down to 180 hit points. So yes, learn my lesson really quick about assuming. You know that saying about assuming makes an ass out of you and me? Well, I just made an ass out of myself because that was just probably one of the dumbest moves I could have made. I just, with all these guys we had on the corner not getting shot at, I just thought it's got to be safe to come through here. I do get a couple shots off on the tank destroyer setting back there, and I actually shoot at their... Sorry, I'm going to pause this real quick. I don't think it'll stay. I got to figure this out because it's driving me nuts every time I take my... well, maybe it will this time. Their Object 263 was back there, and I do get a shot on him, and it's a blind shot, believe it or not. Here in a minute. It's this next shot. He actually goes invisible, and I was kind of pre-aimed at his lower plate, and I actually did pen that. I was pretty happy about that, because those things, at 263, if you ever get one in front of you, shoot at the lower plate. That's about your best bet to pen anything, because the anything above that upper plate, heavily armored. That's where you want your artillery to work on them. This LTTB pops out, and I'm able to get a nice shot into him. Unfortunately, the T-34 comes around, And T-34's got wicked good penetration. I don't know exactly where he shot me at. I imagine it was probably that front lower plate. I probably could have angled it a little bit more. The only problem I'm finding is if I would have angled it a little more, I might have over angled it and he could have put it right through the side right here. Actually, that was probably a pretty good angle, to be honest with you. He might have actually he couldn't have put it through that front because the building was, I think, the building wasn't in the way, but yeah, think about it all day long. I think he put it in the front lower plate though. But anyways, so if you want to hold on for a minute, I'll have some post game stats for you, and so just hold on. I'll be right back. Alrighty, so here's the results from that match. Not too shabby, considered I went around that corner and it was bam, bam, bam. Jeez, I'm criminy. Thought I was getting shot with a submachine gun. And the funny thing is there was an E100. What E100 was there? I think it was like two other E100, E75, myself, and one other tank. And I went around that corner, and I think they were saving them for me. Oh, so anyways, we hit the IS-7 in the lower plate, knocked out his driver and penned him for 422. Hit the 263 with a blind shot and penned him in the lower plate for 442. If you ever have one of those Object 263s, I need to do a review on that to show you guys where to shoot the fucking thing. Lower plate. Lower plate, lower plate, lower plate, lower plate. If he's got that lower plate hidden, you're fucked. The armor on that thing is just phenomenal. If you can get that lower plate, goes through that like butter. Conway was sitting back there and got a shot on me too, little bastard. SU-1 2254 bounced one off me for 440. I hit him twice for 1,002. And their LTTB tried to be a sneaky little worm, and I bounced two of his shots for 180 and hit him for 405. Got third most damage with 5 hits, five shots, 5 hit, 5 pen. The rate of fire on this kind of sucks, and it reminds me of how the Mausch used to be. The Mausch used to have actually a little worse rate of fire than. Well, no, it was. It was a worse rate of fire than this. But I think I had a way better crew in that too. I still did 2,271 damage from a distance of more than 300 meters. Was 1,444. Got hit 8 times, 5 pen, 3 bounced, and damage blocked by armor was 620. I didn't have it angled at all for shit when I came around that corner. When I saw all these heavies sitting there and an IS-7 on the enemy team, that's all I thought was there. As soon as I came around that corner, well, I learned otherwise, as you saw in the replay there. It was kabam, bam, bam. It's like, fuck me. So I made 36,645 credits, shot 1 premium, and the rest were standard, so we still made 3,795 credits. Not too shabby. It's funny, and this is going to sound stupid as all can be, but I don't really like this tank well, I love the Moss, and I love the VK 100.01P. I think that's what it is. The Tier 8. Love the Tier 8. Love the Tier 10. Don't really like this one much at all. I don't know really. I think it's because I don't know. It's just hard to explain. It's it's no faster. It's like the old Moss, but I love the Moss. I think the big problem with this is it's got a lot more weak spots than the Moss did. This front plate really weak, and these sides are really weak. Even that commander's hatch up here is really weak. Whereas you've got the Tier 8. See if I can pull that one up for you guys. Now, this commander's hatch, you would think, holy shit, it's huge. It is hard to pen that. It's great armor. Front on this is great armor. And the funny thing with this, if you can get that lower plate hidden, you actually want to face straight on. These right here, auto bounce. Auto bounce. The front right here, the armor, when you're facing straight on, is phenomenal. As soon as you go to angle it, though, you give them this here, which then goes from auto bounce to shoot here, and this right here is still pennable. So I'm finding that I'm better off aiming straight on with this versus angling the turret like you would in a Moss. and this still has a weaker lower plate right here, um, like the Moss did. But for some reason, it seems I have way better games, way better. I mean, I'm going against tier 10s in the this tier 8 and have better results than I do in the tier 9 Martian, whatever you want to call it, Mauschen. The fire rate's the same. I think it's actually the exact same gun. KVK L50. That's the KWK L55. Basically the same gun. 246, 311. I think the pen's a little lower on this. Yeah, 220, 260. I think that's about the only difference is the penetration for these two is about the only difference in the guns. Um, but with the VK100.01P, I just have better games, better luck. I just like it a whole lot more. Um, what is I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna look at the speed. I think it's the same 2015. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I just have better games, better luck. Maybe it's because I'm not seeing as many tier 10s or something, because when you're in this, normally you end up in tier 10 matches almost all the time. That could be what it is. I don't know. I seem to get a lot of tier 10 matches in the VK also. I mean, so far since I've been running that, I think I've had 3 games where I was top tier, and that's probably out of 50 matches. Um, yeah, but there's something about this Mosh, and I don't like it as much as I do the tier 8 and the Moss. Um, I don't know what it is, but I don't. I think it's penned easier. Maybe because it's got the Moss's frontal turret, but it doesn't have the buff like the Moss got. Where this, it seems like I bounce more, and I think it's because these here on the sides, that's auto bounce. This up here, auto bounce. This right here, unless you're shooting, you're at a tier 10 and you're shooting gold, you're not gonna pen that thing. It's hard to pen. And this right here, your front cheeks right here, hard to pen. The only weak spot this really has is this front lower plate right here. You can hide that, shit, you're golden. But anyways, so both matches I did. I apologize, I didn't get a whole lot of damage done, but the first one, if I remember right, basically the team kind of folded, and this one, Jesus, I came around that corner and just got melted. So yeah, unfortunately, didn't think all that stuff was setting back there, and I came around and found out otherwise. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the review and the gameplay of the Mauschen. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. If you like your heavies and your super heavies, you're gonna like this. I just don't like it as much as the Moss and the VK 100.01P. Yeah, let me take it for what it is. Also, I think this has got this bubble weak spot right here, whereas the VK doesn't have that. I noticed a lot of people do pen that right there. They shoot right at that machine gun port, goes right through. Big weak spot right there. So yeah, I think it's just because I don't bounce half as much on this as I do the VK, and I think it's because of one, this, two, that, and three, because of the cheeks are like the old Moss and it's easy to pen. So, anyways, so I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. You guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.